fire detection and alarm system. Most of us, if you are already a practitioner, you would already been probably doing this fire detection alarm system. Just like what I told you earlier, our present designs for the fire protection already includes this FDAS, no? Ginagawa na natin to nung araw pa. Pero ang nakasama lang dito is smoke detection, heat detection. Dalawa lang yan. Smoke detection and heat detection. Okay? At yung alarma niya is audiovisual, no? Tunog at saka yung umiikot na ilaw sa rotating beacon o kaya LED bulbs na medyo magulo para panggising o pangatrakar, di ba? So yan yung present system ni FDAS. Kaya ko ini-introduce yung Tugadex na sinasabi ko, toxic gas detection, kasi wala pa yan eh. Hindi pa natin ginagawa yan. At tayo pa lang ang nauna na nagsusulong yan. Wala yan sa atin sa IIEE, wala rin yan sa mga electronic engineers, wala rin yan sa mga PSME. Wala pa yan. Tayo pa lang. Ako pa lang through the MEPF Organization of the Philippines. So gusto ko na tayo mga Pinoy mas mataas yung level ng natin ng safety sa mga gusali. Kaya ako napakakulit diyan, talagang ginigit ko yung toxic gas detection na yan. At ngayon pinangalanan ko na siyang Tugadex para may dating, no? Tugadex. Parang Tugade, no? But anyway, just to emphasize that there is this need for this toxic gas detection and extraction. Otherwise, if there will be a big fire in the next opportunity, I hope not, no? Sana walang mangyari, no? Marami na naman mamamatay niyan. So, the riser diagram for an FDAS looks like this. Most of us already are electrical practitioners are already knowledgeable with this. Okay? And then I just added here some calculations for the feeder of the home run circuit for the fire alarm and control panel, because usually napakalitang load niya, mga 3.2 amps yung isa kong nahalungkat na no. You have to check on the AC ampere input to the fire alarm control panel. In that way you can determine the home run. But I'm pretty sure na maliit talaga yung load ni FACP, fire alarm control panel logic device, kaya maliit lang ito, 3.2, so the circuit is only 2.0 mm square. Okay? But how about yung wiring mo sa smoke detectors and heat detectors? Well, the wirings there uses small wires, no? Usually yung TF wire na 1.2 square mm TF wire, no? Or it is AWG16 sa American wire gauge, no? The operating voltage is usually 24 volts DC, and the maximum number of detectors, it depends on the product, kung sino yung gumawa ng produkto. Remember, when you do an FDAS, when you design it or you construct one, install one, you have to make sure na yung system mo is just one brand, no? Hindi mo pwedeng paghalo-haloin. Mabuti sa atin sa electrical wirings, no? Pwede kang bumili ng masusita na conduit, pwede kang bumili ng felt dodge na wire, pwede kang bumili ng Koten na circuit breaker siguro, pwede kang bumili naman ng Toshiba na switch o outlet, o iba-iba, di ba? You can combine difference, but in FDAS, you have to get the components from only a single supplier or brand, no? Yun na lang, TF wire mo, yun ang pwedeng iba, tsaka yung conduit, no? Pero yung components mo, yung fire alarm control panel, yung heat detectors, smoke detectors, manual pull stations, alarm bell, etc., etc., this must all come from the same brand, no? Kasi factory tested dapat yan. Factory assembled and tested yung system. So, of course, bubuhin mo lang sa system mo, pero isang buo yun. Hindi ka pwedeng maghalo-halo kasi lalo na sa FDAS, dalawang klase, no? We have the conventional and the addressable. Hindi mo pwedeng paghaluin yung pyesa ni conventional dun kay addressable. Hindi siya gagana. Kasi si addressable type, binary yung language niya. no? On or off, no? Samantala si analog type, tawag nito, pwede siya ng mga the usual wiring na switch lang, di ba? Okay. So we proceed to the mechanical design. Anong kailangan sa mechanical? Air conditioning loads, ventilation loads, elevator loads. This is for a mixed-use building, no? Okay, so ako ang ginagamit ko is 15 square meters per 1 ton, no? Kunyari, I need a cooling of 1 ton. That would be good for 15 square meters area. Of course, if the room is only 12 square meters, 1 ton pa rin, no? So 1 ton could be converted to horsepower by multiplying it by 1.2. By the way, this horsepower is different from the mechanical horsepower. This is electrical horsepower, no? Kasi meron conversion nito sa I think 4 point something hindi naman obra yun. So magiging sobrang laki. If you multiply 1 TR, 1 ton of refrigeration by 4 point something, sobrang laki. Okay? Biro mo 15 square meters lang na kwarto, lalagyan mo ng 4 or 5 horsepower na aircon. Ano pa? Sobra naman. So, may nagtanong kasi, bakit ganon? May nakita raw siyang ganon. Sabi ko, iba yon. Iba yung mechanical horsepower. Noong araw kasi, nung wala pa, hindi pa nagagamit ang mga electric motor sa drive, no? Siyempre, nung araw, ano ba yung horsepower? Isang kabayo, nahatak yung load. Kaya tinawag nilang horsepower nung araw. Hanggang sa yung horsepower na salita sa capacity na manghatak o maggawa ng load ng trabaho, yun pa rin hanggang ngayon horsepower. Kaya lang, nagbago siya ng iba yung mechanical horsepower sa electrical horsepower. Bakit? Kasi ang electric motor is much more efficient than a mechanical device. I give you an example. Yung internal combustion engine sa mga kotse natin, even na meron kang 100 horsepower dyan, okay? 100 horsepower yung capacity niya, kunyari yung makina niya, hindi lahat ng 100 horsepower converted sa energy na magpapaikot ng gulong ng sasakyan. Baka ang magagamit mo lang doon will be something like 20 to 30% of that energy para mapunta dun sa gulong para umikot yung sasakyan mo. Saan napunta yung iba? Yung mga 70 to 80%. Well, yung iba, tapon. Yung init sa radiator, tapon yun Init ng radiator mo, binublo ng LC ng fan, di ba? Tapos sa body sa hood niya, mainit. Ramdam mo tinatapon ng makina. Hindi lahat ng energy, hindi lahat ng sinunog mong gasolina or diesel mapupunta sa isang power. So, doon mo makita na yung mechanical horsepower mababang efficiency. Ang makonvert mo lang 20 to 30%. How about electric motor? Electric motor 90% efficient. Sometimes ngayon meron na tayong mga 93, 94, 95% efficient electric motors. Napakataas. Kunti na lang yung losses niya. Yun na lang kunting iron losses siguro, copper losses dun sa winding, which is very small. Kaya very efficient ang electricity. Otherwise, wala sana sa ating sistema. Remember yung British na nag-imbento ng steam engine, di ba? Yung oling ang sinusunog niya, di ba? Tapos dumating yung makina ni Rudolf diesel engine, di ba? Tapos dumating na itong gasoline engine. Anyway, so magkaiba yung mechanical horsepower tsaka itong electrical horsepower natin. Okay, so pag nakuha mo yung 15 square meters, assume mo 1 ton of refrigeration yan, multiply mo 1.2 horsepower per ton, then you get the one. Of course, 1 TR times 1.2, ang makukuha mo dyan, 1.2, di ba? Wala namang aircon na 1.2. So, gagamitin mo 1.5. Okay? Pag nilitan mo sa 1, medyo mahirapan siyang palamigin yung kwarto. Hindi tatagal yung aircon mo na 1 lang. Okay? Yan ang idea. And then, Here are the standard ratings. May 0.5 ngayon, yung pinakamaliliit. Nung araw kasi, pinakamaliliit yan, mga 3 ports. Ngayon, nagkaroon na ng mga compact na design ng mga window type air conditioning unit. Kaya meron ng mga 0.5. Tingin ko, a few more years, magkakaroon na ng mga 0.4, 0.3 horsepower. Paliit, patipid ng patipid. Ha? Pero ang kaya niya, mamaintain pa rin. Ganyan yan eh. These manufacturers will continuously find ways on how to improve their product. That's the way it is. Even in solar, you will notice that the solar panels that are now coming out in the market are becoming smaller and smaller with the same output. Let's say 300 watts. Before, the size was 1 meter by 2 meters roughly. But today, the size only 1 meter by 1.6 meters. So, lumiit ng 0.4 meters, mga ganyan, lumiit ng ganyan. Pero the same ang output niya. What does that mean? Kasi nag-improve ang efficiency nila. Ganon din yung motor na sinasabi ko kanina. 0.9, 90% efficiency. Ngayon, meron ng mga 94% efficient. 95% pa nga. Okay. So, applying it, just to show you, 6 meters long by 5, 30 square meters divided by 15, you get 2 tons. 2 tons times 1.2, 2.4 horsepower. You can select maybe a 2.5 horsepower window type aircon, or maybe you can go to the Tanner 3 Tanner, or you can also convert these values to kilowatts. Kasi some European equipment, air conditioning equipment, they specify their capacities in kilowatts. Okay? So, another example, another one, bigger room, 24 by 8. No? So, you will see the air conditioner is also bigger, 3 units of 5 tonners. Okay, cooling loads for large areas. I'm giving you here an example on how to determine it. Like for example, if you have a big warehouse or a mall, maraming tao, no? So you have to use this 20 square meters area for 1 ton. Then so like this one, no? Warehouse, 200 meters long by 100 meters wide na warehouse. You're going to provide the air conditioning or refrigeration to it. When you say air conditioning, up to 16 degrees centigrade. But if you are refrigerating it, it's usually lower than 16 degrees centigrade. No? When you bring it down further to maybe lower than 16, then that's no longer air conditioning. That's already refrigeration. If you're going to refrigerate at tao na andyan, hindi naman maging maayos sa tao. Baka magkasakit pa siya sa sobrang lamig. So, hanggang 16 degrees centigrade lang yun dapat. Okay? So, warehouse na ito, 200 times 100 divide by 20 square meters, 100 tonner yung chillers mo. So, if I have 2 units of 50 chillers, then I will have 50 times 1.2 is 60 horsepower. Then, each chiller will have a drive of 60 horsepower. And then, pag may chiller ka, meron siyang kasabay na isang circulating pump, usually mga 5 horsepower, at saka isang cooling tower, usually ang fan na yon 3 horsepower. So, 60 horsepower motor for the chiller, 5 horsepower motor for the circulating water pump in the cooling tower, and a 3 horsepower motor that drives the fan of the cooling tower. So, anong load mo? 60 horsepower, 5 horsepower, 3 horsepower. And since there are 2 chillers, dalawa yan. 2 sets yan. Okay? So, ventilation naman. In ventilation in general, for a room of something like 10 square meters in area, it is recommended that an exhaust fan should be provided or provide 1 cubic feet per minute per square foot, no? That's American standards, no, from ASHRAE. So, or about equivalent to 10 CFM per square meter. Kaya kung binasa mo siya sa area, what is the length and the width, makakakuha ka ng CFM. Kasi 10 CFM per square meter or 1 CFM per square foot. Okay, this is approximately 8 air changes. Air changes or exchanges. In other words, papasok yung hangin, lalabas, pasok yung hangin, lalabas. Okay? So, to make sure that yung loob ng kwarto mo, fresh air yung nandun. Okay? So, 8 air changes per hour. Wow, matindi yun, ha? Mabilis, di ba? So, here I got some data where you could easily determine these values. But you'll take note that there is a minimum value from 3 to 10, no? So, 2 to 4. So, let's say, for example, let's have a sample here. Let's get a classroom. So, classroom, pwedeng from 4 minimum to 6. Okay? 4 to 6. What is 4 to 6? Okay? So, CFM is equal to room volume divided by the minimum per change. So, and then, room volume is equal to length times width times height of the room. So, whatever is what is the volume, no? Room volume, makukuha mo dyan, no? Okay. So, classroom, 4 to 6, di ba? Or, projection room, 2 to 7. Now, my suggestion is, this is quite a big range, no? How would you select? Now, since the Philippines is a hot country, meaning to say we are near the equator, so our weather or the ambient temperature is always much higher than in the northern hemisphere, in America, in Canada, and elsewhere in Europe, you know. So my suggestion is for you to use the higher value, no. Instead of itong 3 is more doon sa kanila sa malalamig na lugar, and 10 is doon sa atin, no. So yan. So instead of 3, you use 7, okay, for this bowling alley, no. Projection room, 2 ang gamitin mo. Kung office, 8 ang gamitin mo. Okay? Minimum of air exchange. Okay? 8 air exchange. No? Another one, showing say for a toilet, for a shower room, for a bathroom, for a steam shower. So, 50 CFM. Jetted tub daw, 100 CFM. So, this is just reference. Pero ito naman ang aking shortcut. Kasi nakabase sila sa laki ng kwarto. Ito, laki ng kwarto. Okay? At saka anong purpose, di ba? Okay, ako, gamitin mo ito. Madali ito, no? Ibinase ko sa tao. Kung ang restroom mo, ang banyo mo, merong 5 inodoro, ito, sample ko, no? If a restroom has 5 water closets, 5 inodoro, tapos 3 lababo, yan. So, ibig sabihin, ang maximum na dumudumi sa banyo, sa toilet, tapos merong 3 na gumagamit sa laboratory, siguro, toothbrush o naglalabar, di ba? So, 5 plus 3 persons times 15 CFM per person. Kasi, yan. Kung kanina, yung 15 natin sa air conditioning is 15 square meter per ton of refrigeration. Dito naman, 15 cubic meter or 15 CFM pala, sorry. 15 cubic feet per minute ng hangin per person. Yan. So, 5 plus 3 person is equal to 8 times 15, 120 CFM. So, dito mo ngayon ibabase. Use the minimum available standard. So, yung available standard na nahagilap ko ito. Yung usual na maliit nating exhaust fan has a capacity of 4.56 cubic meters per minute or 160 CFM. The power of this is 60 watts lang. Okay? Now, elevator lift. Ang elevator is highly specialized, no? So, we should consult with the elevator supplier to be given the accurate horsepower drive of the elevators. Okay? Hindi pwedeng ito, no? Although, napuna ko, itong elevator manufacturers, brands, no? They continue to improve also, so such that ano na rin sila ngayon, mga variable frequency drive na rin gamit nila. Did you know that there are some elevators na higher than 60 Hz nang ginagamit niyang power? Why? Because it uses a variable frequency drive control. Meaning to say, by supplying alternating current of higher frequency, then you can make the speed of the elevator much higher than normal, no? How? Kasi yung formula natin sa speed of the motor is 120 is a fixed value, no? 120 times F over P. 120 times F, the frequency, over P, the number of poles ng motor. So, by increasing the frequency, therefore, of the power supply, you can increase the speed of your motor, di ba? Yan. Okay. So, I'm going to give you 3 samples. Again, isang 37-story mixed use has 4 na 1,200 kilogram na elevators, each with 15 kilowatts or 20 horsepower drives, no? Ito naman si 22-story, same lang. Pero, dalawa lang yung elevator niya. Dito sa 37-story, 4, no? Itong si 22 floors, dalawa lang. Okay, how about dito sa pangatlong example? 11-story, dalawa lang din, no? 2 elevator lifts with 11 kilowatts drive or 15 horsepower drive. Okay? So, yan. So, alam mo na kung anong load ng elevator. Okay, now we go to plumbing. By the way, I already uploaded 3 plumbing webinar, no? Yung plumbing inspections, audit and safety, tapos yung how to prepare plumbing plans, and yung recommended practices in domestic water systems, no? Yung mga rainwater harvesting, yung mga water filtration, nandun sa pangatlong plumbing. Of course, we will try to do some. May mga humingi ng detalye ng paano daw mag-compute nito, mag-compute doon. Okay? Na actually, nandun sa revised National Plumbing Code, no? Pero, siyempre, anyway, siguro we'll also prepare one in the future, no? Para naman dun sa mga nag-aim na maging master plumber o plumbing engineer o plumbing professional, no? Plumbing practitioner. Kasi nga, we in the MFF Organization of the Philippines are highly encouraging those who are electrical, mechanical, plumbing, and fire protection to make a complete practice between the 4: mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and fire protection. Of course, S, sabi ko solar, no? Pwede rin safety or solar. Okay? Or sustainable engineering, no? Sustainable. Okay, so here, I refer you to a sample which I followed from a popular book in plumbing by Max Fajardo. Plumbing Design and Estimates by Max Fajardo. Okay? Yan. Here is the example. There are 2, by the way, no? This one is for a 4-story building. Take note, ito 4-story building with so many water closets, lavatories, etc. No, the calculated volume of the water requirements for domestic water is 3,000 liter capacity for the tank, no? And this next example, it's a taller building, 11-story, and here is the computation for the water volume. Lumalabas 9,680 gallons, no? Okay, so when you have this, you can now specify the volume of your domestic water tank. Okay, and of course your pump. So in plumbing, we have several pumps that are needed, no, for that the plumbing system will be working all right. Number 1 is booster pumps, no. These booster pumps, ito yung bomba na nagtatransfer ng tubig mula dun sa underground water cistern sa baba, pwedeng nandun sa basement, pwedeng nasa ground floor. Ililipat mo yung tubig dun sa roof deck, tapos from the roof deck naman, di-distribute mo sa iba't ibang floors. Okay, so that's the booster pump to transfer water from the cistern down below to the roof deck. So yan yung sistemang makaluma. Yung may tangke ka sa baba, may tangke ka rin sa taas, lilipat mo yung tubig sa taas para by gravity bababa mo. So that's the water booster pump. Then water pressure pumps. Itong si water pressure pump is needed for, let's say for example, at the topmost floor, mahina yung pressure. At say you have 11 stories, no? Ang tubig mo sa 11 at saka 10 at saka 9 usually mahina eh. Kasi ang pressure niya dun lang sa water tank sa ibabaw ng 11, di ba? 11 floor, 10 floor, 9. So mahina yung pressure. So kinakabitan siya ngayon ng pressure tank o pressure pump, sorry, ng pressure pump. Maliit lang siya. Para lang yung pressure sa 9 floor, 10 floor at saka 11 floor for an 11-story building or 12-story together with a roof deck, no? Kinalalagyan ng water tank. Okay, so yan yung pressure pump. Now we have this constant pressure pump or Willow. Yang nauna nagtayo na nakapag-develop nito eh. Itong si Willow is meron siyang bladder tank. At itong sistema na ito ay ang style niya kakaiba. Hindi mo na kailangan ng tangke sa bubungan mo. Wala na yun. Ang kailangan mo lang na tangke dun sa cistern mo sa baba, sa water tank, underground water tank sa ground floor or basement. Okay. And then, that's one. Then mamaya papakita natin paano gamitin yan. Willow pump na yan. Then the sump pump. Itong sump pump or sewage lift pumps, yung maduming tubig mo dun sa basement, kailangan mong ilabas eh. Kasi kung pinabayaan mo dun na maiwan sa basement, na ipunan ka, ay mamamaho yun. At saka magpuproduce ng methane at yan yung sinasabi kong pwedeng magkaroon ng disgrasya. Which ganyan nangyari sa Glorieta noong 2007. Meron silang mga restroom o mga banyo doon sa basement. Tapos yung bomba nila, di nila na-maintain hanggang sa naipunan ng methane, hanggang sa nagkaroon ng spark, nasindihan at sumabog. So yun yun. Ako, simple lang ang solusyon ko doon. Kung dinedesign pa lang yung project, sasabihin ko na kagad sa architect o kaya sa owner, ma'am, sir, wag na natin lagyan ng banyo dito sa basement. Kasi kung na-upset yung pumping system mo, pwede kang magkaroon ng pagsabog. Of course, kung sabihin ni owner, hindi, gusto kong meron yan. Ako masusunod, kailan meron dyan. Aba, hindi ang engineering mo ngayon, tindihan mo kasi you have to supply sinasabi kong detector, mag-alarm ka, tapos mag-extract ka. Ilabas mo yung ano na yan. Ayun, yun lang mahalaga talaga, mailabas mo yung delikadong gas na yan. Okay? So, pump sizing, ito, meron akong sample dito. Base sa na-compute natin na 300 liters kanina. So, or 800 gallons, 300 liters divided by 30 minutes of pumping, 26.7 gallons. Pwede mo rin lakihan. Ngayon mo lang ng mga 15 minutes ang andar niya, lalaki ito, no? Dodoble. Then, saka mo piliin yung bomba mo, no? Ito, sample ko nito, 26.7 gallons per minute. Okay, so I was able to get a pump 40 GPM with 60 feet head. Okay. Ngayon, kung wala kang supplier pa niyan, pwede kang maghalongkat sa McMaster catalog. If you're familiar with the McMaster catalog. Okay. So here is now the Willow pump. Itong si Willow pump ay ano yan, nakaparallel na maliliit na bomba. So this left picture would show you this is a 1.5 horsepower, 1.5 horsepower, 1.5 again, and 1.5. Apat na 1.5 horsepower water pumps. Yan yung design ni Willow. At itong apat na ito, or tatlo, or dalawa, whichever. Ito kasi yung ginawa kong kombinasyon dun sa project na ginawa ko noong 2013. Okay? At ito yung controller niya ng mga apat na bomba na ito. Itong controller, nagpo-produce siya ng varying frequency. So, ibig sabihin, itong mga motor na ito, iba-ibang takbo nila, hindi sila pare-pareho. Hindi katulad ng ordinary controller, yung across the line of full voltage na iisa lang ang andar nila. Pag-start, arangkada kagad, posible ang speed ng motor 1800 revolutions per minute kagad, no? 1800 RPM, revolutions per minute. Diba? Dito, posibleng ito tumatakbo ng 900 RPM. Ito naman tumatakbo lang ng 600 RPM. Ito naman 150 RPM. Ang bagal, di ba? Ito, hindi umaandar. Ganun Depende kasi sa nakabukas ng mga gripo sa taas. Kung sobrang dami nakabukas, nako, andar lahat ito na matulid. Okay. So, ganyan yon. Meron kang pressure sensor sa header at yun ang binabasa niya. Pagka nakita niya na bumaba yung pressure, pabibilisin niya yung andar ng mga motor, no? Pagka naman mataas yung pressure, pababagalin naman niya itong ikot nila, no? So, ganun siya. Meron siyang closed loop operation control. Okay? So, ito yung paraan para mag-calculate. So, if you have a 140 rooms accommodation, 3-story siya. Ito 3-story, tapos accommodation, ito, kita mo rito, 150, third floor. So, ang model, W804. Ang W804 is dalawang 2.5 kilowatts. So, ganun lang. Madali lang gamitin to. Hindi ka na kailangan mag-compute ka na matagal. Ito, ganun yung itsura niya, yung dalawang 2.5 kilowatts. At ito yung bladder tank niya. Controller niya, nandyan na dito sa loob ng box niya. Okay. So, here, I have some other samples for doing the pumping. So, you just follow it. If ever you have a design, just get this guide to or open this guide and follow it, no? Then some pumps. So some pumps are small pumps, submersible pumps usually that are installed in the basement of a building to bring out the water, no? Usually leak water, flood water, whatever, no? Ngayon kung meron ka naman yung sinasabi kong banyo, di lift, sewage lift tawag naman doon. Submersible pump din siya. But you have to adequately size up the capacity. Okay, so here is a sample sizing for the sump pump. Okay, just follow it until you determine you find first the full load current and then you find the horsepower. Okay, and then just my guide for sizing the septic tanks and my recommendation on how to optimize your design for the plumbing. Okay, and also my suggestion of providing for an air pump, ventilating fan, for your septic tank. Pwede kasing ganyan. Why? Because if you want to improve the quality of effluent ng gray water, you can provide ventilation like this one, no? And here is a listing of a typical equipment, pumps or loads for a certain sewage treatment plant. So ito siya, no? STP ito, STP. Yan.